All right, Nick, let's go on down to Ohio State and check in on the Buckeyes for a minute because there's some big news over the weekend of a big time recruit that Ohio State has acquired. And I think this is going to be really big for them going forward. And there's a lot of backstory here, Nick. I think that just the whole situation is very, very interesting.
Yeah, Miles, I think it's a very good recruiting news. I think Ohio State fans will be really excited to hear about that. But before we get to that, as always, we're going to hear from Buckeyes fans in the comment section below. Look, we're talking about recruiting a little bit as we get to this phase of the game. Some big time recruits already committing. But I want to hear from you guys. Give me your favorite big time recruit, a guy that was all over the recruiting news, but came into Ohio State and took care of business and had a great career. Because we know there's a lot of walk-ons, little low-level recruits that come out and become superstars. But give us a huge name, big time recruit that committed to Ohio State like as a sophomore or junior and then went on to just dominate. Give us that guy that you really love to watch who followed that career path in the comment section below. But all right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of Ohio State?
Yeah, Nick, if everything goes right, this guy we're about to talk about could be the next guy. And first off, no less than he has one of the greatest football names I think I've ever heard.
Oh my God, yeah.
Air Noland. You know, it's like Air Jordan, but for football. I think that's going to be the dynamic here. He's got to get a Michael Jordan sponsorship like ASAP. So let's get on into it. Here's the article, Nick. Ohio State has once again found a quarterback for its 2024 recruiting class following the commitment of Air Noland of Langston Hughes High School in Georgia. The nation's number 84 player, number 8 quarterback, chose the Buckeyes over 34 other schools, Nick, that being including Alabama, Arkansas, Clemson, Miami, Oregon, Texas A&M. You know, he chose Ohio State over a ton of other big-time competition, and that's because Ohio State is just flat out good. And there's a couple of things I want to touch on here of why exactly he decided to choose Ohio State, Nick. First off, we all know last December, Dylan Raiola decommitted from Ohio State and decided to go out back into the world and find another school. And that was one thing that was really holding Nolan back from coming to Ohio State. He never thought he would get a chance to start here because of that commitment at the time. But when Raiola had decommitted, Nolan's coach asked him, "Where's your dream school? Where do you want to play?" Nolan had only one answer, and he said, "I want to play at the Ohio State University." Nick, he loves Ohio State. He's always thought about being there. And there's a couple reasons as to why he wants to do it. He was talking to his coach, and his coach said, you need to look at schools, and you need to look at guys who, if you want to get to be playing on Sundays, you got to go to a program that gets guys prepped to play on Sundays. And Nolan said that is what Ohio State does. They take quarterbacks, they get them ready, and now they're getting them to play on Sundays. You look at Justin Fields, you look at CJ Stroud. They've got plenty of guys playing at a very, very high level going on into the NFL, Nick. So that was one of the big things that he was looking for. And none other than that, Nick, this guy's a heck of a player as well. He went on that season. He was disappointed that he wasn't going to get a play at Ohio State at the time, but he still didn't let him get him down. He went undefeated and won a state championship that year as well, so that's pretty cool. But now he is getting his opportunity, and I think just having that little extra chip on your shoulder, proving that, you know, I should have been the guy the first time around, I think this is going to be big for Ohio State. What do you think about them signing a guy such as Aaron Noland?
So to me, this kind of had the feeling of sort of the Empire Strikes Back, right? Because one of the things that's been going on in the world of Big Ten football, at least in the recruiting department, and it may just be perception in the media and things like that, but it just seems like, or at least the way it was portrayed, is that other schools were making strides. We're hearing what Matt Rule's doing in Nebraska, doing a great job there. Of course, Wisconsin, Luke Fickell, former Ohio State connection there, of course, doing a great job with some transfers, trying to get that program out to the 21st century. And of course, that dreaded team up north, they've had one heck of an offseason in their own respect, getting, of course, Jaden Davis and a phenomenal quarterback recruit, and stole a running back prospect from Cincinnati Moeller right in Ohio State's backyard. So it kind of felt like, you know, okay, Michigan, this, you know, they've won the Big Ten last couple of years. You know, they're now in total control. Maybe Wisconsin, Nebraska, they look like they're making big strides. They're getting better. They're heading into the 21st century. Finally, they're turning their programs around. And of course, you know, Penn State's always going to be tough with Franklin and things like that. It sort of felt like Ohio State was maybe, you know, with CJ Stroud going to the draft, maybe taking a step back. No. This was sort of like a statement to me, in my opinion, because if you look at the guys who are actively recruiting, Garrett Riley of Clemson, the new OC, was literally directly targeting a guy in Georgia, right in his backyard. Clemson loves recruiting Georgia. That's what they got. That's how they got Trevor Lawrence. They attacked Georgia with everything they got. Alabama was deeply focused on this kid as well, really going after this kid in Georgia. And Ohio State went in their backyard and got this kid. Look, I know Nolan came out and said, hey, listen, I always want to be Ohio State Buckeye, and that could certainly be true. But it's really hard when Nick Saban's calling. It's really hard when Dabo Swinney is calling with their program and the pedigree from that perspective as well. And despite all that temptation, despite being in the deep South, they were Ohio State Buckeyes with Ryan Day were able to get this guy. And to me, this is sort of just a message across the bow to the rest of the Big Ten. It says, yeah, we know Michigan. Yeah, you're finally getting a few good recruits. Good for you. Great job. Yeah, we know Wisconsin. Yeah, you're finally doing a spread offense. Welcome to 2009. Oh, Nebraska, you think you're finally going to be good again. Maybe you will be, maybe you won't be, but wait and see. Because right now, we, talking as Ohio State, are still the big dogs in this conference. And look, the last 2 years didn't work out that way. But going forward and for the last 20 years, Ohio State has been the number one dominant force in the Big Ten, bar none, and one of the dominant programs in college football, bar none. And to me, getting this kind of recruiting update after losing Raiola is sort of just a message to the rest of the Big Ten and the college football world in particular that this team, there's no decline, there's no rebuild, we're just reloading. And I think this is the message, getting this kind of recruit is what Ryan Day's been looking forward to send to his program and to other programs in the country as well.